There's nothing worse, and I've been there 12 years ago, there's nothing worse than not having an inspiration, a passion, and a purpose. Can you raise your hand if you're with me on that? Yeah, you can clap, that made me feel good. I feel strongly now, I guess our organizations, well, first of all, I'm old, so I've been doing this about 33 years, but our organization just going on the 18th year, and what I've learned a lot of lessons during that time, many the hard way, and if your values are being met, that helps produce happiness. And there's a big difference between temporary motivation, through positive reinforcement, or unfortunately negative reinforcement at times. I mean, it's real, right? Paying the bills and getting up each day. There's a big difference between that and inspiration. So what I try to strive for every day, and it's not easy, the dream that we've had, which is seeing people work for a good portion of their day because they want to, not have to. But we all have these moments that, we do what we don't want to do. And growth, there's a very big movement, which I agree with, towards balance, life balance. What we try to do, and what I try to do for all these years, is find what somebody's passion is. And I've noticed this, so that, and we've had these conversations with Betsy, like, what is it, when you meet with an employee, I love to meet with employees and ask them one question before we're creating their job description, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, you have certain job descriptions according to HR that have to be somewhat standardized, right? Before determining future roles for this individual, we sit down and I know Jason and I just had a meeting like that with someone at my house where we sat down and we said, what do you want in the long run? What moves you? What inspires you? If you were to be able to do anything in the world for a portion of your day, what would it be? Right? And by asking that question first, not later, first, it helps us determine and be very straight with them whether or not we can find a niche for them that would eventually hit that inspiring role for them. Now, it usually doesn't happen early off. It often happens later, and what also often happens is that the person is doing it for free. It's not mandatory. They can do it if they want, but they often volunteer to do things to see, and if it adds value to the learners, to the employees and the organization as a whole over time, we create a paid opportunity for that individual. Raise your hand if you think that could be a good model. I'm curious, because there could be flaws in that. I mean, we've had our flaws in that. When I think about it, May Bobrin will be here. May found a niche and a passion, and it makes the other 90% of her day all worth it when it can be a tough day. And for hers, it's the cultural diversity piece that she trains to. So that's part of her job. It's not like you can just bring someone in right away and say, oh, you like a niche, which is walking dogs. Okay, so that's your job now. You're gonna get paid. No, it's more about doing your job well, meeting your key performance indicators. If it's a direct clinician, it's timeliness, it's engagement with learners, it's how well you play as a team. And then later, when those foundations are met, let's start figuring out what could they do a little bit. So May Bobrin has that. I thought about it. I don't know, it was great seeing you guys here, because then I felt like we were really in the moment, and you guys were supporting that. We're not just talking about staff satisfaction, you guys were there, so I feel like it's authentic. I don't know, did you guys have any feedback on how it went? You could say bad stuff.
No, I thought it was great. There's a lot of awesome feedback and responding from everyone else in the crowd. Like you said, it was authentic, provided great examples about every day what we do and the happiness and satisfaction that actually occurs.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, I felt like I could you can kind of read if people are engaged or not. So I saw some head nodding and things like that. But you know, like no matter how many times we've done these sorts of things, there's times that you just can't read whether the audience is happy or not. But the only way you can is through the act of responding.
Yep.
So when I started seeing people nod their heads and so forth and laugh at Jason, it was great. God!